Come on, Austin, say
Gotta
it.
watch
You have
The
too many
Office.
pop
I'm in the mood
figures.
to
They're
watch
never
The
going to know.
Office. I haven't watched The Office in
I mean,
at
they're
least 2
going to look
days.
at it.
I
I
have
have
this
this
weird
weird
obsession
obsession
with
with
Fruity
Fruity
Pebbles.
Pebbles.
I can't stop eating them. No matter what I do, no matter how hard I try, it doesn't matter.
What is up, Flick fans? Welcome back to my channel. Daisy Ridley, Tom Holland are starring in a movie coming to theaters this weekend. It's called Chaos Walking. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to tell you guys whether it's worth a watch or not. I need your comments and your excitement down below. And if you like this review, let me know, and let's get into it. So, two unlikely companions embark on a perilous adventure through the badlands of an unexplored planet as they try to escape a dangerous and disorienting reality where all inner thoughts are seen and heard by everyone. And I'll start with this. I was excited for this film for a few reasons. Doug Liman from American Made to Edge of Tomorrow. I think he's a very competent director, and I was excited to see his take on this kind of premise, and we'll get into that premise here in just a second. And then, of course, Tom Holland, Daisy Ridley, Mickelson, you have David Oyelowo, you have a huge cast with massive talent. Nick Jonas in there, for all the Jonas Brothers fans. My wife would She would love that. But then I saw the trailer, and this idea crept in. It's how are you going to translate something like this based off of a book? It feels like it works a lot better on paper, just going into the movie. How are you going to translate that to the big screen and allow it to work and not become annoying? And I understand that sounds kind of mean, but a character walking around on screen where you're constantly hearing words, sentences, things that they're spouting out as they are delivering dialogue, that's a very difficult thing to execute. And I do believe it's something, even though I had to get used to it at first. It started out very just, all right, I felt as jumbled as some of the characters. I felt like Daisy Ridley's character when she first arrived on this planet. I'm like, all right, what's going on here? This is very different. And I also saw a clip before going into this movie on Twitter, and the clip seemed very jumbled and scrambled, and that also enhanced my fear. But I will admit, as the movie progresses and goes on, it's something that you have to get used to, but if you can do that and wrap your head around the idea, I don't think it's all that bad. I started to become more concerned about, okay, now that I'm kind of on board with this, where is our story going? Where is our journey going to lead us? And how is the chemistry going to work between our two leads? And the buildup of that was fascinating, in my opinion, because we establish this world, we establish how she arrives, but then we're starting to figure out, or at least trying to figure out, is everything we believe we know as an audience, and from Tom Holland's character's perspective, is that true? And that's when it started to become way more entertaining than maybe I expected going in. And I will admit, I was locked in, I was on board with where this journey was about to head. Now, here's another issue. Everything I've said so far was actually in the trailer, so I'm not going to reveal major plot points beyond that. But that's another big issue that I have, is the trailer actually gave away details, information, key moments, and plot points. And if you didn't see it, it's not going to bother you, obviously. But that really did just kind of irk me in a way, because I did find the movie predictable, right? The reveals, the turns, the twists, but I'm thinking to myself, if I didn't see the trailer, would that be the case? And that's a difficult thing to balance when you're trying to criticize a movie, because that actually hurt my thoughts quite a bit as the movie progressed. But let's go back to the adventure itself with our two characters. The familiarity is really going to take this down for a lot of people, because we've seen this journey before, and it doesn't necessarily give us enough development. Maybe Tom Holland's Todd, Daisy Ridley's Viola, she's there, and she is this entity, well, this person, but it's the concept of, okay, we have to protect this thing or this person and lead them on this journey to get to this destination, right? And we've seen that countless times before. It all comes down to, can you build up that character? Can you give us reasons why we should care? And I just didn't necessarily get the exploration with her that I needed. I liked seeing Todd's thoughts play out on screen, and obviously you can hear everything that he's thinking. It's, okay, should I protect her? Should I do this? Should I do that? And it becomes extremely interesting when he is confronting certain individuals that he has to withhold information from. And as all of us do, we're always thinking, and what should we say in this situation, this moment, whether I should make this choice or not. But all of that is being played out loud for others to hear. And I found that to be really intriguing as the movie progressed, because it's like you have to be silent all aspects of your mind and brain And that's a tough thing to do, especially with Todd being as young as he is, finding it difficult to control his powers, if you will. That's a tough thing to do. And then we get into the third act after just a fairly familiar adventure, one that you can have some fun with because you have the talent on screen. There's one moment in particular I sat back and said, oh man, I don't know how people are going to respond to that, but okay. You get into the third act, and then the way everything wraps up and ends, it just kind of ends fairly quickly. It doesn't give us enough time to sit and have a few moments. Maybe we get one moment with our characters, but it just ends. And there's a standoff, a showdown that wasn't as climactic as I needed it to be, and there wasn't enough buildup to give us that emotional moment that I think the filmmakers were intending on giving us. So I think the big issue with this movie is just familiarity and not doing anything different, even though you have this concept that is really cool and exciting. But the journey and the story and the progression of the characters, it just feels so familiar that it takes it down maybe a lot more than it should have. And even though there is indeed fun to be had here, absolutely, whether it be the cast or the characters or just this idea, I don't think the movie was quite able to overcome that with its concept that was interesting. But the journey itself, there's not a lot to it in terms of character buildup and depth and, things that make you really want to rush out to the theater and see it. So an interesting concept is not enough to overcome familiarity. But like I said, there's fun to be had. If you guys enjoy this review, be sure to drop your thumbs up down below and let me know if you want to see more. I'm going to 5 out of 10, a 50% for Chaos Walking. Honestly, it's not a disaster like some expected it to be. There are definitely good elements in there from the cast to the concept as a whole. It's just the journey and the finale just kind of fell flat for me personally, but I'd love to know what you guys think. Appreciate you big time for watching. Be sure to leave your comments. Are you watching Chaos Walking this weekend? And come back, because on Friday, we are talking WandaVision. And tomorrow, Coming to America 2, or Coming to America, whatever it's called. Okay.